Captain Kim Tai stretched his arms and checked the altitude display. 35,000 feet above the Pacific Ocean, everything looked perfect. Flight 447 was cruising smoothly from Seoul to Los Angeles with 300 passengers on board. The night sky outside was clear, filled with stars that seemed close enough to touch. "Coffee?" asked his co-pilot Lee Min, holding up a steaming cup. Lee Min had been flying with Skybridge Airways for 5 years, always professional, always reliable. Kim Tai had requested him specifically for this long-haul flight. "Thanks," Kim Tai replied. Taking a sip, behind them, the passenger cabin was quiet. Most people were sleeping, some watching movies on their screens. Flight attendants Park So and Choi Yu moved quietly through the aisles, checking on passengers and dimming lights. In the cargo hold below, 12 special containers had secured with extra straps. Each one was marked with bright yellow labels. "Reading electronics. Handle with care. Fragile." The shipping manifest listed them as quantum computer processors bound for a tech company in California. But the containers were heavier than normal electronics, and they hummed with a strange energy that made the cargo sensors flicker occasionally. Kim Tai had transported sensitive cargo before. Military equipment, medical supplies, even precious metals. But these containers felt different. The ground crew had been extra careful loading them, and security had been tighter than usual at Incheon Airport. Flight 447. "This is Seoul Control," came a voice through the radio. "We show you on course and on time. How's the weather up there?" "Clear skies. Seoul Control." Kim Tai responded, smooth sailing all the way. But something was bothering him. Lee Min had been acting strange during the flight, making extra notes, checking his phone more than usual, and asking odd questions about their exact position and flight path. Kim Tai had noticed but hadn't said anything. Maybe Lee Min was just being thorough. 3 hours into the flight, Kim Tai's secure radio crackled to life. This was different from the normal air traffic control frequency. Only certain flights had this encrypted channel, and it was rarely used. "Captain Kim Tai. This is Agent Park Jin, FBI. I'm currently in seat 15A in your aircraft. Please respond immediately." Kim Tai's blood ran cold. FBI agents on his plane. He glanced at Lee Min, who was suddenly very focused on his instruments. "Agent Park Jin, this is Captain Kim Tai. What's the situation?" "Captain, we need you to listen carefully. Your co-pilot Lee Min has been transmitting your flight data to unknown sources. We have evidence that he's been doing this for months. We need you to isolate him immediately so we can make an arrest." Kim Tai felt his heart pounding. He looked at Lee Min, who was now sweating and avoiding eye contact. How could this be happening? Lee Min had been his friend, his trusted co-pilot. "Lee Min," Kim Tai said quietly, "I need you to step away from the controls." Lee Min's face went pale. "Captain, I don't know what they're talking about. This is crazy, sir. We're coming up to the cockpit now." Came Agent Park Jin's voice over the radio. "We have Agent Choi Soo with us. Please keep your co-pilot calm." The cockpit door opened, and two men in dark suits entered. They moved with the confidence of trained agents, but their faces showed concern. Agent Park Jin was tall and serious, while Agent Choi Soo carried a small device that beeped occasionally. "Lee Min." Agent Park Jin said firmly, "You're under arrest for treason and espionage. You have the right to remain silent." "This is insane," Lee Min protested. "I'm just a pilot. I fly planes." But as Agent Choi Soo put handcuffs on Lee Min, something incredible happened. The entire aircraft suddenly shuddered, and every electronic display in the cockpit flickered. Red warning lights began flashing throughout the cabin. "What's happening?" Kim Tai shouted, grabbing the controls. Agent Choi Soo looked at his device. which was now beeping frantically. "The cargo hold," he said, his voice filled with alarm. "Something's activating down there, through the small window that looked into the cargo area." They could see an eerie blue light growing brighter. The 12 containers were glowing like giant blue lanterns, and electrical energy was crackling between them. "Those aren't computer processors," Agent Park-Jin realized. "There's something else entirely." The aircraft's autopilot system suddenly disconnected. Navigation screens went blank, then came back online showing strange symbols instead of normal flight data. The radio began picking up signals that sounded like no human language anyone had ever heard. "Captor." In Agent Choice, who said urgently, "We think your co-pilot wasn't working for any human organization. The signals he was transmitting were going to coordinates in deep space." Kim Tai felt a chill run down his spine. Deep space, aliens. This was supposed to be a routine flight to Los Angeles, not a science fiction movie. The blue light from the cargo hold was now so bright it was visible through the passenger windows. Flight Attendant Park so called from the cabin. "Captain, the passengers are getting scared. What should we tell them?" Before Kim Tai could answer, the radio crackled with a new voice. But this voice was different, deeper, with strange echoes that seemed to come from everywhere at once. "Human aircraft, you carry our technology. You will surrender control immediately, or face the consequences." Agent Park-Jin dragged Lim in to the back galley while the strange blue light continued pulsing from the cargo hold. The handcuffed co-pilot was shaking, sweat dripping down his face as the alien voice echoed through the aircraft's communication system. "Start talking," Agent Park-Jin demanded. "What are those things in the cargo hold? And who are you really working for?" Lehman's eyes darted round nervously. "You don't understand. They're not just watching us. They've been planning this for years. The Velta, they call themselves. They look almost human, but taller, with silver eyes that glow in the dark." Agent Choice pulled out a specialized scanner and pointed it at Lehman. The device immediately started beeping rapidly. "He's got some kind of implant behind his left ear," Choice reported. "It's transmitting data right now. They gave me this," Lehman confessed, touching the side of his head. 3 years ago, when I was flying cargo routes, I crashed in the mountains of Alaska during a storm. I should have died, but they found me. They saved my life, but they wanted something in return." Captain Kim Tai was struggling with the flight controls. Every few seconds, the aircraft would try to change course on its own. The navigation system kept switching between normal displays and strange symbols that looked like mathematical equations mixed with star charts. "What did they want?" Agent Park-Jin pressed. "Information," Lee Min said quietly. "Flight schedules, passenger manifests, cargo lists. They wanted to know how humans move around the planet. They said they were researchers, studying our civilization." Agent Choice's scanner was going crazy now. "Captain," he called out, "I'm reading similar implants in 12 other passengers. They're all Skybridge Airways employees, flight attendants, ground crew, even some pilots." The realization hit everyone at once. This wasn't just about one corrupt co-pilot. Skybridge Airways had been infiltrated from the inside. They offered U.S. money, better jobs, promotions, Lehman continued. But it wasn't just about the money. They could control our thoughts sometimes, make us forget things or remember things that never happened. Captain Kim Tai felt anger rising in his chest. "How many planes? How many people are they controlling?" 67 aircraft in the Skybridge fleet," Lehman whispered. "Each one has hidden devices installed during maintenance. They're not just watching us. They're preparing to take control of all air traffic through the cockpit windows." They could see other aircraft in the distance, But these planes were glowing with the same blue light as their cargo hold. The Velta weren't just targeting Flight 447. They were activating their entire network. Agent Choice rushed to the cockpit and began examining the instrument panel with his scanner. Here, and here, he said, pointing to small devices that looked like normal aircraft components. These are alien transmitters. They've been recording everything. Our conversations, flight patterns, even passenger behavior. The blue light from the cargo hold suddenly intensified. And the aircraft shuddered violently. Through the cargo window, they could see the containers opening like metallic flowers. Inside each container was a pyramid-shaped device covered in glowing symbols. "Those are control nodes," Limin said. His voice filled with terror. "They're designed to override human technology. Once they're fully activated, the Velta can control any electronic system on Earth." Captain Kim Tai had heard enough. He grabbed the manual flight controls and disconnected all the automated systems. "Not on my watch," he said firmly. "This is my aircraft, my crew, my passengers. No alien is taking control of my plane." The Velta voice came through the radio again, louder and more demanding. "Human pilot, you cannot resist. Your species is primitive. Submit to our authority, Agent." "Park Jin," Kim Tai called out. "Can you disable those transmitters?" "I can try," Park Jin replied, pulling out a small device that looked like a sophisticated screwdriver. "But if I damage the wrong component, we could lose all our instruments." Agent Choi Su was already working on the first transmitter. Sparks flew as he carefully removed the alien device from the aircraft systems. "Got one," he announced. "The interference is decreasing." But the Velta weren't giving up easily. Through the windows, they could see other Skybridge aircraft, changing course, converging on their position. The alien-controlled planes were flying in perfect formation, moving in ways that no human pilot could manage. "They're coming for us," Li Min said, his voice shaking. "The other planes, they're going to force us to land." Captain Kim Tai pushed the throttles forward, increasing speed. "Then we'll outrun them," Agent Choi Su. "How many more transmitters?" "At least 6 more," Choi Su replied, sweat beading on his forehead as he worked. "But every time I remove one, the others seem to get stronger." The cargo hold was now filled with a brilliant blue light that was visible from other aircraft. The pyramid devices were floating in the air, spinning slowly and projecting holographic displays of Earth's major cities. "They're mapping our infrastructure," Agent Park Jin realized. "Every airport, every flight path, every major population center. This isn't just about controlling planes. They're preparing for a full-scale invasion." "Captain." Kim Tai made a decision. That would change everything. He reached for the emergency broadcast system and spoke into the microphone. "This is Captain Kim Tai of Flight 447 to all aircraft. We are under attack by hostile alien forces. Repeat, we are under attack by aliens. All Skybridge Airways flights are compromised. Do not trust your automated systems." The response was immediate. Dozens of pilot voices filled the radio frequency, asking for confirmation, reporting similar problems with their own aircraft. The truth was spreading faster than the Velta could stop it. The Velta had studied humans for years, watching their movies and analyzing their behavior patterns. They expected panic, chaos, and quick surrender when their invasion began. What they got instead was something they had never encountered in their conquests across the galaxy. Within minutes of Captain Kim Tai's emergency broadcast, something remarkable started happening. Air traffic control centers around the world began receiving coded messages that most controllers had never seen before. In Tokyo, Controller Yukihon received a priority alert with the codename Sky Guardian Protocol. In London supervisor. David Park saw the same message flash across his screen. These weren't random emergency procedures. For decades, military intelligence agencies had suspected that Earth might one day face threats from beyond their planet. Secret protocols had been developed, tested, and stored in secure databases at every major airport. Thousands of pilots had received special training during their careers, told it was for theoretical scenarios that would probably never happen. Today, those theoretical scenarios became reality. Captain Song-Yu was flying a cargo plane over the Atlantic when her secure radio crackled to life. All pilots, this is Air Force Command. Activate Sky Guardian protocol immediately. This is not a drill. We are facing hostile alien contact. Song-Yu's hands moved automatically to switches she had practiced using in simulation training. Years ago, her cargo plane wasn't just carrying electronics parts. It was equipped with hidden communication equipment that could coordinate with military satellites in the skies over Europe. Captain Hanbo received similar instructions. His passenger jet transformed from a commercial aircraft into a mobile command center as hidden panels opened to reveal advanced radar and communication systems. The passengers were confused but remained calm as flight attendants explained they were helping defend Earth. Back on flight for 147, Captain Kim Tai was amazed by what he was hearing on the radio. Hundreds of pilots around the world were reporting in, ready to fight. The Velta had infiltrated Skybridge Airways, but they had underestimated human preparation and determination. Agent Park Jin, Kim Tai called out, "We need to figure out how to turn their own technology against them." Park Jin was studying one of the alien transmitters they had removed. "Look at this," he said, pointing to the device. "It's using our own electrical systems to power itself. But if we reverse the polarity..." Sparks flew as Park Jin carefully rewired the alien device. Suddenly, instead of receiving signals from the Velta, it started jamming their communications. The blue light from the cargo hold flickered and dimmed. "It's working," Agent Choi Su shouted. "The alien control nodes are losing power." But the real surprise came from the passenger cabin. Dr. Yong-Soo, electronics engineer traveling to a conference in Los Angeles, had been listening to the cockpit communications. She stood up and addressed the frightened passengers. "Everyone, listen. To me," she announced calmly. "We're under attack by aliens, but we can fight back. I need everyone with technical knowledge to help me." Teacher Lim Na, who taught physics at Seoul University, immediately stood up. "I'm here to help." Soon, a computer programmer named Kim Bo joined them, along with a mechanic named Liu and an electrical engineer named Parkman. What happened next amazed even the FBI agents. The passengers didn't panic or demand to land immediately. Instead, they organized themselves into teams. Dr. Yong-Soo led the technical team in analyzing the alien devices. Teacher Lim No used her knowledge of physics to understand how the Velta technology worked. The other passengers helped by sharing their smartphones to create a communication network. "Captain," Dr. Yong-Soo called from the cabin, "we've figured out something important. The alien devices are using quantum frequencies to communicate, but human technology can generate interference on the same frequencies using laptops, smartphones, and even the aircraft's entertainment system." The passengers created a massive electronic interference field. The Velta's control over their technology began failing. On the radio, pilots around the world were reporting similar successes. Captain Song-Yu had used her cargo plane's equipment to hack into a Velta mothership's communication system. Captain Han Bo was leading a formation of 12 passenger jets that were jamming alien signals across European airspace. The Velta had made a critical mistake. They had studied human entertainment and news, but they had never understood human cooperation. Under pressure, they had observed individual humans, but had never witnessed how quickly humans could organize and adapt when facing a common threat. "This is impossible," came the alien voice through the radio, now filled with static and interference. "Your species lacks advanced technology. You should not be able to resist." Captain Kim Tai smiled as he spoke into the microphone. "You've been watching us for years, but you never learned the most important thing about humans. We don't give up, especially when we're protecting our families." Flight 447 had become the center of a global resistance network. Captain Kim Tai was coordinating with pilots on 6 continents, while Dr. Yon Su and her passenger team provided technical support to aircraft around the world. Teacher Lim Na was using the plane's communication system to broadcast interference patterns that other aircraft could copy. The Velta motherships, previously invisible in Earth's orbit, were becoming visible as their cloaking systems failed. Military satellites that had been secretly watching for decades suddenly had clear targets. Agent Park Jin looked at the alien transmitter in his hands. Now completely rewired and working for humans instead of against them, they thought they could turn our own technology against us. He said, instead, "We're turning their technology against them." Through the cockpit windows, they could see other aircraft joining their formation. What had started as one plane fighting for survival had become a sky full of human pilots working together to defend their planet. The Velda were learning too late that humans had a strength they had never encountered in their previous conquests across the galaxy: the ability to turn any situation, no matter how desperate, into an opportunity to fight back together. The sky above the Pacific Ocean had become a battlefield unlike anything in human history. What started as a simple rest on one commercial flight had escalated into Earth's first war against an alien invasion force. The Velda had expected easy victory, but they were about to learn that humans fight differently than any species they had encountered. Captain Kim Tai watched his radar screen as dozens of aircraft converged on his position. Some were allies, human pilots who had broken free from alien control. Others were enemies, Skybridge Airways planes still under Velta command, their hulls glowing with a teary blue light. "Formation Alpha. This is Flight 447. Kim Tai spoke into his radio. "We have 12 hostiles approaching from the northeast. They're flying in perfect formation, too perfect for human pilots." The alien-controlled aircraft moved like a swarm of mechanical insects, making impossible turns and flying at angles that should have torn them apart. But the Velda had underestimated human unpredictability. Pilot Ojin was flying a cargo plane, loaded with automotive parts, when he received the call to join the fight. His aircraft wasn't designed for combat. But Ojin had been a fighter pilot in the Korean Air Force before joining commercial aviation. He knew how to make any aircraft into a weapon. "Flight 447. This is Cargo 88. Ojin's voice crackled through the radio. "I'm approaching from the south. Those alien-controlled planes are flying too predictably. They're using mathematical precision. But humans don't fight with math." Ojin proved his point by executing a maneuver that no alien computer could have calculated. He dove his heavy cargo plane straight down, then pulled up at the last second, using the aircraft's momentum to ram into an alien-controlled passenger jet. Both planes shuddered from the impact, but Ojin's aircraft remained under human control, while the alien-controlled plane began spinning out of control, its blue glow flickering and dying. "Target down," Ojin announced. "Their control systems can't handle unpredictable human tactics." Meanwhile, over European airspace, Captain Yumin was facing her own battle. She was piloting a passenger jet with 280 people on board when 3 alien-controlled aircraft surrounded her plane. The Velta were trying to force her to land at a remote airfield where they could capture all the passengers. This is your captain, you men announced calmly. We're going to experience some unusual maneuvers. Please remain seated and trust me. What you men did next would be talked about in aviation circles for generations. She flew her massive passenger jet like a fighter aircraft, rolling and diving in ways that commercial planes were never meant to move. The alien-controlled aircraft, programmed for efficient flight patterns, couldn't adapt to her erratic movements. European control. This is Captain Yumin, she radioed. I'm leading 3 hostiles on a chase pattern. Can you guide me to friendly aircraft? Captain Yumin, we have 6 military jets scrambling to your position. Came the reply. Hold your course for 2 more minutes. Yumin smiled grimly. 2 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes of the best flying show you've ever seen. Back on. Flight 447. Agent Choi Su had transformed the passenger cabin into a mobile command center, using the aircraft's communication systems and the passengers' electronic devices. He was coordinating with ground forces around the world. Captain Kim Tai, Choi Su called out. Ground radar is tracking a massive object descending through the atmosphere. It's the size of a small city and heading straight for us. Through the cockpit windows, they could see it, a Velta mothership, its hull covered in the same blue glow as the control devices. The alien vessel was massive, easily 10 times larger than any human aircraft. That's their command ship, Agent Park Jin realized. If we can disable it, all the controlled aircraft should return to normal. Dr. Yang Su had been working with the other passengers to modify the alien technology they had captured. Captain, she announced, we've figured out how to overload their systems, but we need to get close to that mothership. Close. Kim Tai looked at the enormous alien vessel. That thing could destroy us with a single weapon. Not if we approach it the human way, Dr. Yang-su replied with a smile. Aliens think logically. They expect us to attack from a distance using our most powerful weapons. They won't expect a single commercial aircraft to fly straight at them. Teacher Limna had been studying the alien communication patterns. Their mothership is broadcasting control signals to all the compromised aircraft. If we can jam those signals at close range, we can free every human pilot who's been controlled. Captain Kim Tai made the decision that would determine the fate of the battle. All aircraft, this is Flight 447. We're going to attack the mothership directly. I need every pilot to create as much chaos as possible. Keep those alien uncontrolled. Planes busy while we make our run. The response was immediate. Pilots from around the world began converging on the battle zone. Commercial jets, cargo planes, and even small private aircraft joined the fight. The sky became filled with aircraft moving in completely unpredictable patterns. Pilot Oh Jin was now leading a formation of cargo planes that flew like a squadron of fighter jets. Captain Yumin had linked up with the military jets and was teaching them how to use commercial aircraft tactics against alien technology. The aliens are getting confused. Agent Choi Su reported, watching the radar displays. Their controlled aircraft are starting to make mistakes as Flight 447 approached the mothership. The alien vessel began firing energy weapons that lit up the sky like lightning. But Captain Kim Tai flew his aircraft in a zigzag pattern that made targeting impossible. 30 seconds to contact. Park Jin announced, the jamming device is ready. The Velda had conquered dozens of worlds, but they had never faced an enemy. Like humans, other species had surrendered when faced with superior technology. Humans instead found ways to make inferior technology work better through pure determination and creativity. As Flight 447 raced toward the alien mothership, every human pilot in the sky was fighting not just for their own survival, but for the future of their entire species. The battle for Earth's skies had begun, and humanity was proving that sometimes the best weapon against advanced technology is the refusal to give up. Flight 447 streaked through the sky toward the massive Velta mothership, its hull glowing like a small sun against the dark clouds. Captain Kimtai gripped the controls tightly as energy beams from the alien vessel lit up the air around them. In the passenger cabin, Dr. Yangsu held the modified jamming device that could end this war. 10 seconds to contact. Agent Park Jin shouted over the noise of the aircraft's engines working at maximum power. The mothership's weapons fired again. But Captain Kimtai pulled off a maneuver that defied all logic. He flew his commercial jet in a complete barrel roll, something that should have been impossible for such a large aircraft. The alien weapons missed by mere feet. Now, Dr. Yangsu activated the jamming device. A pulse of energy erupted from Flight 447. Invisible to the naked eye, but devastating to Velta technology, the mothership's blue glow flickered and died. All across the sky, alien-controlled aircraft suddenly stopped their mechanical movements and began flying normally again as human pilots regained control. "This is Captain Lehon in Skybridge 203, came a confused voice over the radio. "What happened? Where am I? The last thing I remember was taking off from Tokyo." Similar calls flooded the radio frequencies as dozens of pilots woke up from alien control. The Velta S invasion network had collapsed in seconds. The mothership itself began to shake and retreat upward, its systems failing as the jamming pulse spread throughout its massive hull. Through the ship's transparent sections, they could see tall, silver-eyed figures frantically working at control panels that were now sparking and smoking. "Impossible," came the Velta commander's voice through the radio, filled with disbelief. "Your species should not possess such capability. You are primitive and organized, weak." Captain Kimtai smiled as he spoke into his microphone for the last time to the alien invaders. "You spent years studying our movies and our news, but you never understood what makes humans special. We don't fight alone. Every person on this planet, in the air and on the ground, becomes part of the same team when our home is threatened." The mothership continued its retreat, climbing higher and higher until it disappeared beyond Earth's atmosphere. Other alien vessels round the world followed, abandoning their invasion plans as their control systems failed one by one. But the aftermath of the battle brought changes that no one could have imagined. Skybridge Airways ceased operations within hours when investigators examined the company's headquarters. They discovered that half the management team had been replaced by Velta agents over the past 5 years. The airline's collapse sent shockwaves through the global aviation industry, but it also revealed how deep the alien infiltration had gone. Captain Kimtai landed Flight 447 at Los Angeles International Airport to crowds of cheering people and news reporters from round the world. But his war wasn't over. It was just beginning in a new form. 3 months later, Kimtai stood in a brand new facility called the Space Defense Command Center, watching as construction crews finished installing alien technology that had been reverse engineered by human scientists. He was no longer just a commercial pilot. He was Earth's first space defense pilot, commanding a fleet of hybrid aircraft that used both human engineering and captured Velta technology. Captain Kim Tai called Agent Partin, who now wore the uniform of the Alien Investigation Unit. "We've received reports of unusual activity near Jupiter. 3 ships that match Velta design specifications." Agent Choi sojourned them at the command console. His new job was coordinating with space agencies around the world to monitor for alien threats. "Are not getting close to Earth again," he said firmly. "We have early warning systems positioned throughout the solar system now. The alien technology that had once been used to control humans was now protecting them. Velta communication devices had been converted into an interstellar defense network that could detect approaching spacecraft from light years away. The blue glowing control nodes now powered human space stations and defensive satellites. At the Pilot Training Academy, Captain Lisa was teaching a new generation of defenders. Her students weren't just learning to fly aircraft. They were learning to pilot spacecraft that could operate both in Earth's atmosphere and in the vacuum of space. Remember, she told her students, aliens think in mathematical patterns. They expect logical, predictable responses. That's why human creativity is our greatest weapon. Captain Byman and Captain Kim Yu had established similar training programs around the world. Pilots from every nation were learning to work together, sharing techniques and strategies for defending Earth from future alien threats. Dr. Yang-Su now led a research team studying captured Velta technology at a secure facility. Her work had led to breakthroughs in energy production, communication systems, and space travel. Every piece of their technology teaches us something new, she explained to visiting scientists. They tried to use our own systems against us. But now we're using their systems to make ourselves stronger. Teacher Limna had returned to her classroom, but her lessons had changed dramatically. She now taught children about humanity's first contact with alien life, explaining how ordinary people had become heroes when their world was threatened. The most important lesson, she told her students, is that humans never fight alone. When one person is in danger, we all come together to help. The victory over the Velta had changed more than just Earth's defenses. News of humanity's successful resistance spread throughout the galaxy through alien communication networks. Other species learned that Earth was not an easy target for conquest. The Velta themselves retreated to their home worlds, their confidence shattered. They had conquered 17 other planets with ease, but humans had proven that advanced technology meant nothing without the will to use it effectively. In space stations throughout the galaxy, alien commanders now marked Earth's solar system with warnings in their databases. The small blue planet was defended by a species that turned every disadvantage into an advantage, every defeat into a lesson for a future victory. Years passed, and Earth's skies remained safe. The space defense network grew stronger, protected by pilots who had learned that the best way to defend their home was to never let any threat get close enough to threaten it. Captain Kim often looked up at the stars from his command center and smiled. The Velta had come to Earth expecting to find a weak, divided species instead. They had awakened something far more dangerous, a united humanity that would never again allow aliens to threaten our transportation, their freedom, or their home. The galaxy had learned an important lesson that would be remembered for generations. Humans protect their own, whether on the ground, at 35,000 feet, or among the stars themselves. Any species that threatened human transportation, human freedom, or human life would find themselves permanently grounded. The end.